Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. We are back to watch the finale of the fall of the House of Usher. It has been quite the journey going through this show. It's taken me so friggin' long to get to the end, but we are finally here, and I'm very excited. Last episode we saw the last of the children die, so Frederick was the last one to die. He got the pit and the pendulum treatment, just sliced in half. And I presume this episode, Madeline is going to die. Probably Roderick. He's, I don't think he's going to last much longer. The real question is Luke Skywalker going to die? There's a lot of people that could die, and I don't know. I legit don't know who will end up dying in this episode, but I'm pretty excited to find out. So, before we do this, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider either supporting me on Patreon or joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, let's jump into the season finale of the fall of the House of Usher. You're still kicking, old man.
84,000 people just last year.
Overdosed?
941,878 since 1985.
Yeah, that's back in the day, too.
Millions, Roderick. Millions.
Yep.
And that's just the deaths. Who knows how many more are addicted. Your tally is fucking impressive, Roderick Usher. The numbers are already locked in. There's only a few more transactions left.
Yeah, they've been locked in from the get-go.
There's the opening bell.
This is so loud. That was so aggressively loud. Almost had to turn the volume down. Don't get too comfortable. Something spooky's still gonna happen. Jesus Christ. I knew something was coming and it still scared me. Oh my God.
They're gonna tear up your statement. They shouldn't have talked to you without me here, and they know better. Now you can give your real statement.
My statement was the truth.
God, my freaking eyelashes.
He mutilated her.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did you see that occur? Look,
Don't try and lawyer her right now, man.
This is about my mom. And if you think you're
Damn
coming
right.
here with another pair of pliers
Damn
over my
right.
dead body, you fucking ghoul.
Damn right.
with Freddie gone, the board went up. There's no easy way to say
Vote
it.
of no confidence.
It's me.
I bet. Just get me to kill myself before you could kill me. Doesn't matter, Madeline.
He's still here.
She wouldn't let me die. Annabelle, she had custody, and I couldn't stand that, so I waited till they were old enough, and I just bombed them with money. And Annabelle just couldn't live without them. I saw her today.
Who?
Annabelle Lee. And neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee.
She does not look pleased with him.
When people asked how you took them, how you convinced them away from me, He's rich. I'd say he's rich. And you don't understand what that word means.
He's rich.
You didn't feed them, though, did you? You starved them. Less and less of them came back each time until one day they were empty. They were siphoned. Because you weren't rich, were you?
Just had a lot of money.
I thought you were a rich man all this time, but I
Was never rich, just had a lot of money.
I look at you and I see you. The poverty of you. Maybe they died in their childhoods.
Oof. Oh, she killed herself.
I have to go.
Don't be stupid.
No, I do. I don't know you, Roderick.
For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee
That is rough.
in her tomb by the sounding sea.
Spooky. Yeah, this guy. He doesn't die right here, though. Does he?
It's time, Roderick. You said you'd tell me how they all died.
Because he's here right now. Talking to him. Finally getting the past of when they killed their boss.
My goddamn hero. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, and he's got the bells on. They did bury him.
Usher, the future of Fortunato!
I told the board, I told the shareholders, you are the best thing that has ever happened to this company. Let's have another drink.
Way ahead of you.
And now when they
You're
kill
a sherry
you,
man, aren't you?
no one will think it was him. The priests right there. Licking his ear. She knows how to tempt him. I don't know how I would react if someone licked my ear.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna wander down here.
That's the idea.
Can make all the noise we want.
Because nobody will hear you. Oh. She's in charge.
If you can get over here, you can do anything you want to me.
And you're about to pass out, dude.
Except that challenge, eh? Hey.
Anything you want, stud.
Whoa. What the fuck?
Use your arms. Crawl. Brought low. He's gonna wake up with them bricking that up.
Look, Roddy, he's awake.
Did you drug me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
There we go.
Corpses disappearing after participating in Fortunato trials.
Yeah, not a great
The
look.
chemicals in their bodies would be incriminating.
You stopped all that. You fixed that.
The man responsible, well, he has got to go, doesn't he? For the good of the company.
You want me to what? Resign?
No, you're just gonna go missing.
But I didn't know, did I? I didn't know who I was dealing with. I picked the wrong patsy.
You did indeed. Actions have consequences.
Stop.
Can you use your feet
Stop,
and, like,
okay.
kick the wall? Undo their progress?
The company's in a tailspin, can't promote the existing brass. They're all tainted goods.
All named in the file, too.
Plus, no one wants to put their head through that noose.
Yikes.
I'll be on the fast track.
Especially after you talked him up so damn much. And now,
Big yikes, brother.
like you said, you can make all the noise you
You
want.
dug your own grave.
That candle lasts you about an hour or so, then I'm afraid.
That is so rough. That is horrifying. I would start crying. I would start crying. You are so small. Oof. You just have to read that. That's horrifying.
What's your deal breaker, handsome?
Don't think I have one.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Hey, I say that all the time. Curiouser and curiouser. Or very interesting.
What if I told you right now that you could achieve all the success you ever imagined?
But one day, she'll come for you.
What would you give? You're a killer, aren't you? Both of you. Couple real killers.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Really?
kinda.
What else would you call it? You killed Rufus Griswold tonight, didn't you? And you're
Ooh,
here.
the
building
wreck of
a
the Edmund
robot.
Fitzgerald. You think I don't recognize that song immediately?
No legal consequences. Guaranteed.
Damn.
For your whole life.
The fuck are you talking about?
You feel it.
The magic in
Both
the
of you.
air.
In the air.
Such an interesting song choice.
We're sitting outside of time.
The
and
wreck
space.
of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Went down in Lake Superior. So many people died.
What if I said you get all that? The whole thing. And the price is deferred. Let the next generation foot the bill. So that's the deal.
Damn. Word choice.
Your bloodline dies with you.
That is a horrible sounding deal.
Those kids would have quite the life.
Until they all start dying.
They could live decades with every luxury, every opportunity. Or they could live a little longer, but struggle.
She's framing it as like giving them a gift. Oh, that means Lenore too.
Real deal. It's an offer on the table.
She's part of the lineage, technically.
That's a done deal.
Then say it.
You have a deal.
You too, Cleopatra.
You have a deal.
Damn.
Well, that was loopy.
What a weird fucking lady. Do you think she meant...
And it's already boarded up. They didn't remember that? She give them like short-term memory loss?
It faded like a dream.
Okay. That makes sense.
It was a folie à deux,
Dream of
a
Madness.
delusion shared by two.
That's what the Joker 2 is titled. Interesting. So she's gonna kill him, right? That looks like an outfit he would wear. Is she doing this to him?
Wow, that was amazing. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. You had your little guy parked out there for 2 days, and I thought, fuck it. I had the best seat in the house.
Who is in the body bag then?
Can I get you a drink?
Oh. Never mind.
You really don't remember me.
Did they make a deal?
I was so impressed with you lot. The Transglobe expedition. That man in the desert. They left him, didn't they? That guide in the Arctic. The friendly fire. Hit in the gut.
Was that him?
That Inuit woman? Not you. You didn't partake. But you saw what they did. And you saw me too, didn't you? Standing on the ice, the aurora above. What happens to you when the ushers are gone?
It's a good question.
Like I said to one of my clients, when I'm done, you can stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and it won't cost you a thing.
Is this tab coming
Was your
due anytime
client
soon?
Donald Trump? Makes sense that he would make a deal with her.
There's a file. Barely scratches the surface, but the surface alone will get you 20 to life. It gets found, or it doesn't. No spouse. No children. No familial connections. At least none that you care about.
So he can't even make the deal.
No man or woman has leveraged me in 70 years of life. I'm not gonna cede that ground. Not this close to the end. So,
Interesting.
thank you for your consideration. I think I'll play out my hand. If it's all the same to you.
Damn. Maybe she gives it to him just on principle. Decent enough guy.
Good night.
Is she gonna die? Because she's technically part of the lineage. And they did say the whole lineage would go before he did.
Who are...
And she's here for her.
Let me tell you a story about your mother. See, she recovers very well now that she's in the clinic.
Damn, she's the only one that makes it out of this.
She inherits a sizable fortune when Fortunato collapses, and she puts it to work immediately. She calls it the Lenore Foundation, after her daughter, and she saves a lot of lives. 600,000, 5 years in, and in a decade, it's millions. This is the part I really want you to hear.
Your death is not in vain.
You did that.
Wait, what are you talking about? Lenore Usher isn't dead.
She is.
That's not possible,
Damn.
Roderick. That's not... She's been texting you all night.
Madeline had this project.
Oh, she's like an AI. She did answer that like 10,000 question quiz.
Some nonsense.
What is it? Nevermore.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak
And weary.
and weary,
Jesus. What is that? Caesar? Or Alexander the Great? Which emperor killed Cleopatra?
and my soul, from out that shadow
Looks so
that
angry.
lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore.
That is spooky. Was it Emperor Augustus? Or Octavio or whatever his name was that killed what's her face?
Was never enough. They just kept wanting more. More and more.
Oh, honey. Don't kid a kidder.
God, she's so hot. She's absurdly attractive.
When it comes to sheer body count, you're in my top 5.
Damn. Who's the other ones? That's horrifying.
That's your true monument, Roderick? Out there?
Time to go kill Cleopatra.
Drink.
You know what? Yes, why the fuck not?
If she's Cleopatra,
We always said it was you and me.
pretty
Get
sure
around.
Cleopatra died of poisoning.
Houses they can't afford, cars that poison the air, single-serve plastics, clothes made by starving children in third world countries, and they want it.
I mean, she's speaking facts.
Aiming for it, they're insisting upon it, and we're the problem. These fucking...
Oh, he glanced at the drink. He poisoned her.
So I say...
He's just waiting.
We stand tall and proud, brother.
Oh, he poisoned her.
Let's not hide here in the basement like we've got something to be ashamed of. No.
Just like what's-his-face from Doctor Strange said. The bill comes due. Always.
She's gonna have to look me straight in the eyes.
Yeah. She just did. Used your own tricks against you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Motherfuck.
You are Madeline fucking Usher.
Oh, he is gonna give her the eyes in. Oh, he's gonna mummify her. Die like Cleopatra.
You are a queen. You're a goddess. And you're gonna live forever.
He's horrified. He's like, excuse me?
That's the thing. Why they buried them with the things they buried them with, things they needed in the afterlife. She'll have everything she needs down there. This takes a little getting used to.
What did you do to her?
I loved her. I honored her.
I kind of want to see what she looks like.
Are you sure she was dead?
What if she wasn't? Bruh.
You know, maybe not. Now you mention it, it makes perfect sense.
That's why she's been making so much noise.
There's no such thing as a painkiller. And imagine if we put that on the bottle. I bet I still could have sold it.
Yeah, I would get out of that house, dude. Get out of there, bro. Where's your car? That's insane.
And the deep and dank tarn at my feet closed sullenly and silently over the fragments of the House of Usher.
Crazy, dude.
Here remains the only conviction from the Fortunato pharmaceutical case. And he will die in prison.
Well, got no leverage on him.
Goodbye, Roderick. I'm going home. To my husband, my kids, their kids. I'm the richest man in the world. You know that?
How's it going? Bye, Martian Manhunter.
Be still.
The Mask of an Emperor.
The night, though clear, shall frown, and the stars shall look
Or
not
maybe
down.
it's specific things
With light like
about
hope
their deaths,
to
yeah.
mortals given. Now are thoughts thou shalt not banish.
She gets a flower.
Now are visions ne'er to vanish. From
is
thy
it?
spirit shall they pass no more, like dewdrop from the grass.
(1950 to 2023).
The breeze, the breath of God is still, and the mist upon the hill, shadowy, shadowy, yet unbroken, is a symbol and a token.
It's
How it
crazy,
hangs
bruh.
upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries.
Is that it? Wow. Okay. Fades in. Fades out. What a show, dude. What a show, what a show, what a show. I don't even know what to say about that. That finale is just like, gives you a lot to think about, you know? Makes you think about life. Like, weirdly, like, a decent amount of the time I was watching this episode, I was thinking about, like, myself being old and ready to die and, like, what that means. And, like, hopefully I have a family to, like, mourn me and, like, a legacy beyond, like, these dumb videos. Like, I don't know. Like, that was tough. Let's talk about a couple of the characters in the show, in this episode, that did not make it to the end. I guess the final the final couple characters. We knew Roderick and Madeline would die. We knew that their boss died. Not gonna lie, watching their boss die was very satisfying because that guy was a scumbag. He sucked, and he was probably racist. I don't know. He was a womanizer, a sexist, a criminal, just an all-around scumbag. And watching him get played at the end was real nice. And then just the slow, methodical bricking him up behind there. Like, we knew he was back there the whole time, I think, ever since we first saw that wall, but knowing that he just died in that wall, just sad and alone, just looking at a brick that says "you are so small," was very satisfying. I think he deserved that. I liked that quite a bit. Not gonna lie. And then Roderick and Madeline going out together. They made the deal in the bar, in the fake bar with the Raven. They were presented the full terms of the deal. Granted, she didn't expressly like go into detail of like exactly what it meant, but you know, I think she laid it out clear enough where she was like, just before you would normally die, your entire bloodline is gonna die. Like, do you accept this deal? And they both accepted the deal, and it's very interesting how that like affected the way that the two of them lived their lives, right? Where Roderick, he didn't really change much of his behavior, right? Like he kept boning women constantly, having more and more kids, because he's thinking like, I can give them a gift. I can make their lives better by the time they go out. And Madeline, she got her tubes tied. She, you know, made sure to like never commit to a man, like never stayed with her husband, never did anything like that, never had any kids, because she knew, I think she deep down she knew like she would have to watch those people die. Like she would never be willing to get vulnerable enough and comfortable enough and let those walls down to get that close to someone, whether it be a spouse or whoever, and then have kids, because she knows it would all be ripped away, right? Her legacy, the thing that she cares about, would get ripped away. And so she focused on creating a legacy that could not be ripped away, right? With her like AI stuff. And like it was her way of kind of circumventing this deal, both in terms of her own consciousness, but then the legacy of everything around her. It is essentially her being like, nah, like I'm Madeline Usher, I make the terms of the deal, right? But in the end, didn't quite work. Very interesting that throughout the show they drew both direct and indirect parallels to her and Cleopatra, and often referred to, you know, the Fortunato family and company as an empire, right? It's very interesting because in actual history, Cleopatra and Caesar were together until like the very end, I think, and then I think Caesar fell on his own sword. Like I think Caesar killed himself, as far as I'm aware, I think. And then there's some historical debate about how Cleopatra died. Like officially she killed herself. Like the historical record says that she died via a snake bite, like a venomous snake, and that she like let it bite her on purpose. But then there's also like a lot of like disagreement about like whether or not like the snake bite of like that particular snake would have been enough to kill her like that quickly. Yeah, like there's a theory that like the asp or whatever the snake was called, that the venom of that snake doesn't act that quickly, especially like ones in Egypt. Like it's supposedly also a much like a longer snake, and that the snake that was found with her was not that big of a snake, so like the potential venomous act of whatever snake actually bit her wouldn't have killed her that quickly. And so there's the theory that she was poisoned or drank poison, either willingly or from what's his name, Octavian, who later takes the name Augustus. The theory is that he killed her, and then like historically put out the story of, oh, she ended her own life, like she took her own life, when it was really him. And so it's a very interesting thing that they drew parallels throughout the show of Madeline Usher and Cleopatra. The Raven calls her Cleopatra multiple times, and then, Roderick is depicted as this emperor of this company, and they have all these like Egyptian, things, and then he literally at the end he thinks he kills her via like embalming her, taking like he used the brain tool, he cut out her eyes and replaced them with those stones. So like just the parallels. Like I don't know if he was Caesar or if he was Octavian Augustus. But it's just interesting that they drew those parallels, and then even at the end, like they show a bust of a Roman emperor like above him, and it's just very interesting. But it turns out he didn't actually kill her. He thought he killed her, and then she comes back up and chokes him to death while their house collapses on them. And it's just a wild ending, like a wild ending to that. Was not expecting that, like not expecting them to go out that way in terms of like the whole house collapsing. And then DuPont just goes back to his family. He's like, I'm a rich man, which I like that they drew that parallel as well, because Annabelle Lee is talking to Roderick in the church. She's like, I thought you were a rich man. Like, I always thought you were a rich man. And then I realized once you had money that you were never a rich man. It's like, God damn. That is crazy. And then you realize even though Augie doesn't have a ton of money, he is the richest man in the world because he has family, he has things he cares about, and people that care about him. And it's just like, oh, the parallels, fantastic. And then the Raven visited 2 other people in this episode. In Arthur Pym visited him, and you learn about the expedition that he went on and how he always gets to a certain point in the story and can't continue, and it's because they did some horrible things on that expedition, which I assume I don't know 100% exactly what happened, but it seems like she was insinuating that they killed a guy, like they shot him in the gut and left him to die, and that they either killed or I'm guessing did bad things like rape to the Intuit woman who was their guide, because she asked him, she's like, you never partook, which I'm guessing she's saying like you never actually committed the act, right? But you watched, you didn't do anything about it, which is horrifying. But he made it back and got attached to the Ushers, right? And he has had this immunity, like this invincibility ever since, but it's not his own. It is just a reflection of the immortality that was bestowed upon them. And so it's very interesting. And she offers him a deal. She's like, I could make sure this never gets found. Like, I could make sure you don't go away. And the only, like, thing I want in return is, leverage, essentially leverage. Someone that cares about you and that you care about. And he is saying, he comes back with her and he's like, essentially like, even if I wanted to make that deal, I can't. Because in 70 years of life, I have never let anyone get that close to me. I have never let those walls come down. Because to love someone means they have leverage on you. And so he rejects her deal, which is very interesting. I wonder if he would have said yes to her deal. Would something have happened where he lives however long and makes a ton of money out of this deal, and maybe someone comes along, another old person perhaps, I don't know, someone comes along and they fall in love and then that person dies right before he does. I wonder if that would have been the deal. But No, he rejects the deal and he goes to prison, which is kind of insane. Gotta respect the gumption, honestly, of being like, nah, I'm good. I'll die in prison. That's fine. But then the most heartbreaking thing, I think, of this was Lenore. Just a gem of a human being. Like, the person who didn't deserve any of this. I mean, like, even her mom. I mean, her mom didn't deserve it, but, like, her mom was not a saint by any means. She fully knew so much of what this Usher family did. Like, her mom was very complicit in all of this. And even, you know, was willing to indulge in that debauchery. And so, like, not to say she got what she deserved, because she didn't, but, like, Lenore didn't deserve any of that. And the Raven stops by because she's technically still part of the bloodline. Like, it brings her no pleasure. And she kills her peacefully, but she lets her know, like, your death is not in vain. Like, you truly changed the world and you saved so many people. They don't even talk about what the charity or foundation is necessarily that they erect in her name, but, like, it's just crazy, like, the impact that her life has going forward. You know, Roderick loves to talk about the impact that his drug had and the lives that were changed and the pain that was taken away. But the one person who truly had an impact long term in this family was Lenore, because she was good. And that is just, it's devastating but beautiful. And, you know, if there was one person to have an impact, should have been the one who was a good person. Her mom goes on to live and do all these things in her name, and it's just it's a lot. Like, it was a lot. Like, so much of this finale, I was just like it ties together so well, and it was just like a nice bow, if not like a bittersweet bow, with a lot of poetry. So much poetry and monologue-ness happening. I didn't even know, like, how to process all of it. The series as a whole, I think, was really, really good. Like, it was a top quality show. I think it is right up there for me in terms of Midnight Mass and Haunting of Hill House. I think it's, like, right up there within the same, you know, quality level. I think Midnight Mass is still the best of the series, like, of the Mike Flanagan ones. Haunting of Hill House made me feel the most. I cried a lot at the end of Hill House. Haunting of Bly Manor was really, really good. I think that one has some of my favorite performances of the actors that are in multiple of these, like Rahul Kohli. I liked him in this, and I liked him in The Midnight Club, but The Haunting of Bly Manor, he was also in Midnight Mass too. He was good in Midnight Mass, but I think he was brilliant in Bly Manor, and so was is it Tania Miller, the one who played what's her name, the doctor. She was the doctor in this one. She was like the housemaid in Bly Manor. She was so good in that, and, like, her demise in that show was heartbreaking. Like, so I don't know, but this one ranks up there in terms of like quality, writing quality. I think this one was so good. I think the only downside of this one is, like, not that there was a lack of tension or lack of suspense, because it had that plenty, but once you knew what was happening, you knew that every single one of these people was gonna die. I kind of like the mystery surrounding, like, who might live, who might die in some of these stories, because it does give a little bit of emotional depth to the characters. in a way that they may not have had otherwise. Where, like, some of these characters, you know that they're like horrible people and that they're gonna die. And so, like, you don't necessarily form too deep of an attachment to those characters when you know that they're not gonna make it out the other end. Like, I don't think I felt emotionally attached to any character in this show, because right from the get-go, other than maybe Lenore, because she was a good gem. Pretty much every other character, though, you know from the get-go they're dying. So you kind of just, like, absorb the story and not ride along on that emotional roller coaster, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was written wonderfully. The visuals were stunning. There were a lot of, like, moments that really actually did make me jump out of my seat in fright, which I normally don't do. I'm normally not like a jump scare type individual, but there were moments in this show, even in this episode, where I was like, "Gah!" Like, the one that got me the most was in Tamerlane's episode, where, like, all the glass shatters in the room and it's like an explosion. That one, I, like, was out of my seat, like, scared me to death. I don't know. The acting performances in this show was just top notch, friggin' brilliant. I think every single actor brought their A game. The music was great. Just such a huge cast of insane characters. I don't know, like, I can't speak highly enough of this. Mike Flanagan has just refined his craft over the years. You know, not everything he has made has been perfect, but I think he's really, really, like, honed in over the last couple of years on, like, what he does well, both in terms of writing and directing and stuff. And then he's found, you know, a plethora of actors he likes working with that he brings back every now and then for quality projects. And I'm curious what he's got coming next, because I know this is the last thing he made with Netflix. I think he signed a deal with Amazon Prime going forward to make stuff for them, and I don't remember what he is going to be making with them. I thought he was going to be making like a show version of The Dark Tower, the Stephen King book, right? Which was like a movie or a show at one point, and it wasn't that great. And I think he's making it into a show, but I'm not 1,000% sure. I'm curious to see what he's got coming next, how many of the same characters he's going to bring back. There's a lot to come from him, I think, and I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know what The Life of Chuck is, but that's apparently his next project. I think it's a movie. So I don't know what he's making with Amazon. I might have been wrong about the Stephen King stuff, but we'll find out. All in all, this series was so good. I really, really enjoyed it, even if it took me so long to watch. I apologize for that. But we're done now. We're officially done. I don't know if I want to replace this with more spooky, scary stuff, because it's not, like, close to October by any means, but I don't know. I might put a poll out on Patreon and see what people think. But I don't know what else to say. I think I don't know if I've processed my thoughts enough to, like, have a real in-depth discussion about what this all means. I just know I loved it, and it was fantastic, and I think that's all I have the ability to articulate currently. So let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I would love to hear all of your opinions. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon or YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.